YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Today, I'm ranking every NFL team starting left tackle from 32 to 1 for the 2021 NFL season. So the starters for this upcoming season here, and based on how I think they'll play, we'll do the same thing for right tackles next. We'll rank every single right tackle. We're going to keep going on position by position. Already did quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends. Check it out. All kinds of rankings, predictions here. Like, subscribe. Make sure you follow that Twitter. It'd be much appreciated. And then here's our Twitter. Always posting some sneak peeks, some previews here. And if we're talking basketball, because the playoffs are really heating up here. But then we got polls going on. I'm trying to find the polls here. Yeah, you guys voted for the playoff seedings, and now you're voting for who wins each round. This will create a video, so you guys have a say. Really enjoy doing these things with you guys. So check it out. Link down below for the Twitter and anything else that you need. Ranking every team starting left tackle. Here we go. 32 at the bottom here is going to be Okafor, who is the right tackle, a young right tackle for the Steelers. He's projected to play left tackle. Really don't have much competition for him, so I believe that is the expectations there. Possibly Banner at right tackle. So Okafor really, he's struggled with his reps there at right tackle, so it might be a little bit of an adjustment going to left tackle. Really surprised they didn't push to get Villanueva back because I feel like they needed him. Cam Erving expected to be the starting left tackle for the Panthers. Remember a couple years ago they drafted Greg Little. That hasn't really worked out too well. Maybe he steps up. Irving's been, what he's been has been a pretty good backup that, you get him as a pretty important insurance piece. See him step in for the Chiefs. He looked pretty good at one point, but when he's a starter or when he's on a team that maybe isn't as good as the Chiefs, away from there, it's been a little bit of a struggle. Doesn't end up starting a whole season or anything. So it's tough for the Panthers if with their left tackle position. I do like the right tackle and Taylor Moton. The Bears left tackle Tevin Jenkins coming at 30. I do like that draft pick. I thought he could have went in the first round. They got him in the second. So I do like the future here. Remember, Tevin Jenkins was a right tackle at Oklahoma State. Dominant run blocker, solid pass protector, but that's something he could have worked on a little bit, expected for young players. But they're actually going to move him from right to left. So, I'd feel a little better if he was at right. But the Bears are looking out for their future, and they believe in him. And, they believe in him, Jenkins, that is, at left tackle. The good news here is the Bears are going to pound the football out of the ball, and he'll be effective run blocking, obviously. So there could be a little bit of an adjustment period in terms of pass protection, but they move on from Leno to clear the space and look out for the future. Can't expect maybe as good as Leno right away, even though he was struggling, but I think he's set in terms of run blocking, like I said. So solid young player there for the Bears. Austin Jackson, the Dolphins left tackle, was kind of a surprise draft pick last year in the first. He didn't play particularly well. I thought he would struggle maybe a little more because I thought he was a second or third round pick even rather than where they took him. But a young offensive line that's kind of coming together, so he could step up a little bit. The Colts' projected left tackle to start week one for me is Sam Tevi. They also got Julian Davenport. I think Tevi's experience last year kind of helps him, gives him the edge. Remember, as you can see on your screen, they signed Eric Fisher. He somewhat recently, towards the end of the season, tore his Achilles, which is tough to come back from quickly, I suppose. And you see, if Fisher is healthy when he is playing, I would rank him at 11, which might be higher than where most people would rank him based on his play. I'd say people rank him around 15, around that range. But you throw him in, and he was playing with a good offensive line with the Chiefs, but you throw him in the Colts offensive line. I really like the idea of Eric Fisher there. And there's some talk that he actually could be back August, September. I don't know if I'm buying that. Come back from the Achilles. He's not given a timetable. I think there's a timetable where he tests things out. So I kind of just ranked the week one starters in my opinion here. So I didn't rank him, even though I did kind of rank him there. But I think it'll be Sam Tevi week one. Hopefully you see Fisher early on because they definitely need him, and I think he's a very good talent. He played very well last year. Tevi, I think if he was on almost any other team, we would probably rank him at 32 here. I think most people probably rank him at 32. You throw him in, going from the Chargers to the Colts offensive line, and that makes him a little better, So I'm not going to rank him at the very bottom. I think who he's playing with and for factors in, but he struggled. He struggled. So that's why they got Fisher. And again, Davenport could be the guy. 27, Andre Diller, he was hurt last year. He was a little underwhelming early in his career. It's still early in his career. more expectations. He definitely can get better, but we haven't really. It's tough to judge because what we've seen, again, a little disappointing, a little underwhelming, even though it's not something to panic about. But then you combine the injury last year with that. You start to get a little worried. A rookie here ranking 26th. The Vikings had Christian Darsaw. I liked him out of Virginia Tech. I love that pick. They traded back and got him. So another offensive line rookie that I love the pick. Saw the Bears, the Vikings. Darsaw had a dominant tape in 2020. Based off that tape alone, it was dominant. Kind of gave me Trent Williams vibes. Kind of making that jump to the NFL. Will he play that good? He didn't play that good the year before, as good the year before. So maybe a little bit of an adjustment period here. But he'll be able, if the Vikings want to run the ball, he'll be able to come in there. It's just almost the same thing as the Tevin Jenkins situation with the Bears. He'll come in there and be effective, run blocking. Pass protection, it was very solid in this tape, but there could be an adjustment period there. I definitely think, even though those rookies rank on the lower side, left tackles are looking pretty good, but I think those teams made the right pick there. They got some good future there. Charles Leno at 25, going from the Bears to the Washington football team, playing left tackle. Been a little inconsistent recently. A few years ago, he played like a Pro Bowler, didn't make the Pro Bowl. I thought he should have. That was a few years ago when the Bears actually had a pretty good team, made the playoffs. Offensive line looked great. Change of scenery. Maybe I don't think he gets back to, I ranked him at 25, so I don't think he gets back to playing there, but maybe I'm kind of banking on playing a little better this year. Needs to be a little more consistent, has his ups and downs there. So I got him at 25. Next group of players here, Jonah Williams, the Bengals left tackle at 24. Even when he came in the league, I thought Jonah Williams was going to be a dominant guard. They just kind of, they believe in a left tackle. Nothing wrong with that. I just figured he'd be a better guard. Needs to stay healthy. If he can prove to us that he can stay healthy, he's probably going to be better than 24. But Bengals offensive line slowly coming together piece by piece here. Got him at this left tackle at 24. 23, I got Cam Robinson of the Jaguars. Another one that's been inconsistent, kind of up and down. You see these games, all right, here's that young Alabama tackle. We expect to be pretty good. And then some games, giving up some good pressure, not so good pressure, sacks. You got the franchise tag, which was a little surprising, a little pricey, but I guess a 1-year trial in this new system. I think this new system, led by Trevor Lawrence and a pretty complete offensive line. It's not like a wow offensive line, but it's pretty complete. There's really no holes. I think all of that makes Cam Robinson a little better than where he's been playing, kind of been playing on that first slide that we did around those ranks. 22 is Andrew Thomas. There was some thought that, maybe the Giants move him to right tackle because he got some reps there at Georgia, and they actually surprisingly brought Solder back. They could have moved on from him very easily. We worked his deal to keep him, so that was all purposely done. And Solder always played left tackle, so you would think Solder left tackle, Andrew Thomas right tackle. I just don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to play Andrew Thomas at left tackle, possibly Solder at right tackle. We do have Matt Part. Not a whole bunch of expectations there, but I guess a solid young option there. But Andrew Thomas had his ups and downs last year. Early year was pretty bad, but then he really picked it up. Another one of those guys that he's still essentially a prospect in my view. He's gonna go in there and he's gonna run block at a high level. It's probably gonna look a little better with Saquon Barkley back there healthy. Pass protection, a little inconsistent, could help in that category. I got a rookie at 21. I really like Rashawn Slater. Again, guys like Andrew Thomas, Rashawn Slater, 1 year apart. They're essentially prospects. They're still developing. They're still trying to get to their game. They're still trying to get to where they can get to. I like Slater better as a prospect, but they're in the same range here. I think Slater, plug and play left tackle for the Chargers. Another one of those young guys. I'm not worried whatsoever in terms of the run blocking. The Chargers will kind of get the ball out in the flat or slip screen in the backfield. Austin Eckler, we're going to watch Slater in those moments. He'll get out there, get downfield. That's where he'll stand out. Could struggle a little bit in pass protection early on, but I'm not really too worried. I really like that pick for the Chargers. Isaiah Wynn at 20. Wynn could be better than 20 for the Patriots if he stays healthy. So another one with the health is the concern. I think I think he's pretty consistent in both run blocking and pass protection. He's very solid at both. Donovan Smith at 19. A little bit of a roller coaster career so far. Shown some promise early on, then, had pretty bad seasons. And then last year, the Buccaneers offensive line coming together at the same time, getting that leader in Tom Brady. Donovan Smith played a lot better. But but I got him at 19. This is kind of where it's showing how many good left tackles there are, because he's all the way down at 19. He's a very, very fine left tackle there. Mekhi Becton, who was a rookie last year for the Jets, he actually played better than expected. I liked him a lot out of Louisville, so it wasn't really surprising, but he was mainly why we all liked him out of Louisville there as a prospect. Raw, a lot of upside. It was going to be okay if he struggled early on. He didn't really. Pass protection could be a little better. Got a new system, new quarterback. I think that could get better by default in terms of him, on top of him developing. Dominant run blocker already. So I like Becton to continue to rise here at number 18. Colt Miller at 17, first came in, was kind of one of the worst tackles in football, disastrous. He's actually getting better every step of the way, so he can continue on that as well. We're on the top 16. 16, I got Jake Matthews, very interesting one. Kind of has been known as a top 10 tackle for some time, and he definitely could be that still. In terms of a pass protector, I'd say he's definitely top 10, and that is the most important. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see, because he's actually struggled in terms of run blocking. Big reason why, the Falcons wanted to pass the ball first, pass the ball more. More of a pass blocking team on top of all that, on top of having Matt Ryan. Now you bring Arthur Smith in. The key for him, his offense with Tennessee Titans, was running the ball first, So he will need to step up his run blocking. But maybe a system and a guy like Arthur Smith, what he brings in there, maybe by default could make a guy like Jake Matthews better. Andrew Whitworth, 39 years old, so maybe not where he used to be, a couple injuries later as well, but still very good, especially for how old he is, where he's at in his career and the injuries that he's faced. But if he's out there, he's going to be solid. He's just got to stay healthy. Deion Dawkins from the Bills. I think a pretty consistent tackle, but he's only 27 years old. I think we're gonna see him get better a little bit. So, it's not like I ranked him that much higher than where he's been. Probably been around the range, maybe the slide that we just had. But I think he improves a little bit here. The Bills' offensive line looking pretty complete. Therefore, everyone's playing better. DJ Humphries. Tough one to rank here, the Cardinals left tackle. He had a very good season last year. That was kind of the first we've seen him play anywhere near that level. So if I'm predicting this year, do I predict him to play that like he did last year or all the other years? That's tough. The most recent year or all the other years. Another thing is maybe he's got an important task, but there's a lot of times where there's a snap, Kyler Murray just rolls out to the right, and there's a lot of space in between Humphries' man and Kyler Murray, so it's less likely he's going to allow pressures and sacks, but he did do his job there. So it's an interesting one to rank here. And I talk about Dawkins being younger, 27, Humphries, same age there. Could he take what he did last year and actually improve on it? Then he's a top 10 tackle, perhaps. Next group of guys here. Orlando Brown now with the Chiefs, and now a full-time left tackle we expect. That's why he wanted to be traded. I'd say another one that's got a little tough to rank, because he's been a fine right tackle, mainly run blocking. He's been good pass protecting as well. Left tackle is going to be a little bit different. You still worry about the quickness, the speed from him. But I think he'll get the job done for the Chiefs. I haven't ranked the top 12, but switching teams, switching schemes, systems, and switching positions, even though when he played left tackle, he looked solid, maybe a little bit of an adjustment, so it's hard to rank him any higher. Garrett Bowles of the Broncos, another interesting one, because a year ago, if I would have ranked him in this spot, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't possible. So I guess the thing with Bowles is maybe you can't base things off the previous year too much. I think the difference in when he played very bad and when he played very, very well last year, you got to give him credit. He played well, but he wasn't really getting away. He was getting called for every holding possible a couple years ago, and that made his job a lot harder. Maybe he adjusted where he was putting his hands a little bit, so every offensive lineman holds, but so he kind of can get away with it a little more. So it's just a matter of, does he start getting called? He's always been a solid option at tackle. Does he get away with the calls? Like he did last year. Does he? And again, everyone's holding. These other guys are getting away with the calls, so I'm not saying he's the only one holding or anything like that. But so let's see if he can have another year like that. But I do have him at 11. I thought he had a fantastic year last year, good run blocking and pass protecting. Dwayne Brown at number 10. Been very consistent. Definitely the best piece of the Seattle Seahawks offensive line. Probably better than 10 based off the pass. Not a whole lot better, kind of in this range. Another guy, he was 36 years old. So maybe some of these younger guys are getting better as he's staying about the same, or maybe we could start to see a little bit of a decline, but he's been dominant even for his age. You see him kind of getting that next level downfield, blocking for his ball carriers, his teammates. That you respect that. That stands out. I got Jedrick Wills making a big jump here to number 9. He's my number 1 tackle in the draft last draft, I should say. And I thought he had a fantastic rookie year. He wasn't number 9, but I think he'll get there this year for sure. You can see he has that talent. Remember, he switched sides in terms of his tackle position from Alabama to the Browns, and it's like he didn't lose a step at all. You think there wasn't going to be a problem, but you think maybe a little bit of an adjustment period. I didn't really see that, so I think he could just continue to get better. Bully of a blocker. So I already got him in the top 10 for left tackles here. Next group of guys, Tyron Smith of the Cowboys. This is a guy that has the capabilities of being number 1 or close to being number 1 if he's healthy. A lot of injuries over the year. I don't know if he's really lost a step because of that. He still plays at extremely high level. He's just got to stay healthy here. Taylor Decker, he's been a fine tackle. I don't think he's been 7. I think you could argue him around that 10 range. I think he takes a little bit of a jump here to number 7. Plays to that contract. I think the Lions completed their offensive line. I think they got a better coaching staff in there. So those things and Decker continuing to get better, all those things together, I think he gets better. So I think we talk about him here in the top 8 range there. So really liking what the Lions do with their offensive line. Laramie Tunsil, another guy that needs to stay healthy. There's really no major concern there, but needs to stay healthy. When he does, it's another guy that we can be talking about maybe even up to the top 3 if he's on the field there. But a fantastic tackle there. Why the Texans traded so much for him a few years ago. Terry Lewan, another guy that was hurt, doesn't really have that injury concern label, but was hurt last year. The Titans really missed him because he's such a dominant tackle in both run blocking and pass protecting. So they get him back healthy. So I got him right there at number 5 for the season. Now we see the top 4. Teron Armstead, Mr. Consistent at number 4. You know what you're going to get from him year in and year out. It feels like he's been in the league forever, but it's not like he's an old tackle or anything like that. So some of these tackles, we can get this wow, or we can get little inconsistency, or we can get this wow play, or he can be hurt. Armstead is a safe rank inside the top 5 because he's just going to be consistent. Maybe he's not going to stand out, it may be as much as some of these other guys. I mean, he could, but I got him at 4. Ronnie Stanley's a guy that very well could be number 1. This is kind of the tackle of the future. I know he didn't just come in the league, but it takes a bit for guys. I mean, you see Trent Williams, David Bakhtiari getting kind of in their prime. Stanley's a dominant left tackle. Another one that, you play for the Ravens, you have to be a dominant run blocker. He always was that, even in college, and he's been a much better pass protector as well. It's just about health. If he's healthy, he could be number 1. He's definitely on his way to being number 1. But there's been seasons where he's looked like number 1. Trent Williams got that big contract, rightfully so. I got him at number 2. Health is a bit of a concern with him as well. A lot of these tackles, health is a concern. But he played very well when in for the 49ers. He's always played well. It's always been, if he's on the field, he's the best or the second best left tackle in football. Plain and simple, that's what it's been. So shouldn't really be a surprise. And then David Bakhtiari comes in at number 1. Pretty close. I'd say the top guys here are pretty close. Bakhtiari, actually, another guy, had an injury last year, and that was, we could be talking about the Packers in the Super Bowl. Maybe it would have been Super Bowl champs. Maybe the Buccaneers were damn good, but if Bakhtiari was in there, because you see the difference with and without him, even without him, the Packers got a pretty good offensive line, but such a key piece there. Protecting Aaron Rodgers, blind side there, very good run blocker. And another one of those guys that you kind of can make a highlight tape out of. He stands out when you're watching games. Linemen don't tend to stand out, but when they do, they're special. If you're not trying to watch them and they're standing out, they're special. And that's a guy like Bakhtiari there. Seeing him kind of getting those big time blocks next level and the next level downfield. So the story is with some of these guys is stay healthy. I think Bakhtiari could be in the range, like Taylor Lewan. We don't really expect these guys to get hurt, or we're not super concerned. This got to stay healthy. Guys like Trent Williams, Ronnie Stanley, maybe a little more of an injury concern there with some of those guys. Whitworth, a little more even. So I guess health is always the concern with the tackles. In the trenches, people falling down in their legs. It's a dangerous job there. So these guys got to stay healthy. Those are my left tackles from 32-1 for this season. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I love doing these rankings where every team has a spot, basically. And we'll do the same thing for right tackles next tomorrow. So can't wait for that. So join us, like, subscribe. We much appreciate it. Make sure you follow our Twitter. Some updates on our channel and the NFL polls, keeping you guys involved. So that's an absolute must follow if you're a Goat House or NFL fan or both. So check it out, link down below. But that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.